You know you got a lot of books when you can literally hide yourself behind a pile of them. If you want, it's Emily Fox. Today's video is going to be my December book haul. So I wanted to share with you the books that I got during the Cyber Monday sale on BookOutlet, and then the books that I've been picking up used, and then the few that you guys got me. So I hope you're comfortable. It's like snowing. I have like my heated blanket. I'm very comfortable. Let's chat about books because let's start with the unboxing. If you don't know, I am a BookOutlet book vlogger friend. I will link down below my page. You can click on it and view all the books that I've been hoarding from them and ordering online. So I have my box. I did open it, but I did not check. I don't remember all the books. I feel like I got very excited on that sale because everything was so cheap. Like all the books were about like $5 or less. So obviously a girl can control herself. So, okay, I remember most of these, I think. First book that I'm seeing is a short book that I really enjoyed. I usually don't go out of my way to buy books that I've already read, but I really wanted to own this one, a physical copy, so I would be able to actually show you in videos. I don't know, I just really wanted to own it. I feel like it's gonna make it easier for me to keep thinking about it and reread it. Because I could see myself actually rereading it, even though I don't do that often. But this is The Test by Sylvain Neuvel, which is a short novella about... It gave me some strong vibes of like Black Mirror. So if you enjoy the show and you want to read something similar, I would definitely recommend checking out that book. It's kind of a dystopian, futuristic a little bit, but not really, of a world where in order to become a British citizen, people have to go through a test which isn't exactly the way it looks like, and that's all I'm gonna say, because obviously very short. There are only 108 pages. Nope, 104. So you have to go into it just knowing that, and things get quite dark quite fast, and I really enjoyed it. Definitely would recommend it. Ooh, another book is something new that I haven't read, but I've read in the past 2 books from this author, so I wanted to try something new, and it is Spook by Mary Roach. I did not finish, but I did read part of Stiff, and I really enjoyed the one which is it Packing for Mars or something? She writes about really intriguing, kind of weird topics, and this time it's about the afterlife, which is all I know about. I mean, I'm very curious to see how that's gonna go because it's 300 pages? A little under 300 pages, and it's just such an interesting topic that I find hard to take seriously some authors whenever they talk about it. Just saying. But I'm very curious to hear/read or take on it. The other one was about astronauts and like a bunch of stuff that they do to prepare themselves to go in space, and the Stiff one was about dead bodies. And that one I was listening to as an audiobook, and it got returned to the library and I never got it back, which is something that happens to me often with nonfiction books. And I got to... Yeah, as I was saying, the other book got returned, and I was at a point where they were doing human testing for, well, human testings for like cars and everything, and how they were using dead bodies, people that left their bodies, for science, which I don't think that's necessarily what people think about when they decide to leave their body to science. Anyway, that's where I was at. Interesting topic once again, and I can't wait. That's why I can't wait to hear what she's gonna say about the afterlife. Next, I ordered this book, which is called Fox. I wish. Vox. Is it because of you, Em? Did you do this to me? Vox, which the topic kind of reminds me a little bit of The Power, which is right there. Basically, in a different version of our world, the United States decides to make a law that women are not allowed to say more than 100 words per day. I'm very curious to see how that's gonna go because, again, dystopian world with an interesting topic, obviously something very relevant, women being silenced and everything. So this is gonna be either really great or maybe disappointing. I feel like the reviews have been quite hit and miss, but I will update you on this. This was part of last year. It was one of the contestants for the Goodreads Choice Award in the sci-fi category, but I never got around to reading it. So whenever I saw it on BookOutlet, I was like, you know what? If I own a physical copy, I will definitely get around to reading it faster than if I keep putting it on my waiting list at the library. I do this thing where I keep buying books of certain authors until I actually end up reading it. It's just like putting pressure on myself. And lately I've been doing this with Robert Jackson Bennett. I've been meaning to read the City of Miracles series, I think, and also Fundraiside, because the second book in that series is coming out in February. and I have yet to pick up anything. So I decided, you know what, let's make it worse, let's buy another one. And it's a short one, so I tell myself maybe it's gonna be easier to start this way, or maybe I can just add it in a future readathon, because coming up very soon, I'm talking about some of my personal challenges, reading challenges for 2020, and I want to try and do more reading blogs, readathon, and everything. So short books are great for that. So this is Vigilance, which I don't know much about really. It's just essentially in the future there's a TV show that tries to keep people on their toes about domestic threats, and how there's like shooters that are introduced into a game environment and the survivor gets the prize. And it also gave me some vibes of, you know, like Black Mirror-ish. So I wanted to see his take on the topic, because I feel like I've seen a couple books with that topic, but they're all kind of so I'm curious to see if this one is going to be actually a hit for me. I was talking about Mary Roach astronaut book. I picked up one on BookOutlet. It's just a topic I really like reading about. This is An Astronaut's Guide to Life on Earth, and I have seen that book on a couple lists of like must-read type of nonfiction books, and I've been meaning to read it for the longest time. My library doesn't have it, so I decided, you know what? It's there, it's on sale, let me grab it. This one was written by a commander of the International Space Station, basically Canadian, whoop whoop, and how like he wanted to become an astronaut growing up, and it wasn't a thing for Canadians, and then he made his way to being actually someone that went to space. So curious to see how that's gonna go. I've been wanting to read more nonfiction, which I feel like I say every year, but it still ends up being about 10% of my reading, so maybe this year will be the year. Do you guys read any nonfiction book? Because I feel like on BookTube, people tend to mostly read fiction, although there are a few channels that tend to focus only on nonfiction. I feel like it's like very divided, but I'm curious. One of my favorite premises to read about is either someone reliving their lives or time travel and everything, and I saw this book, and just the title, I was sold. It is called Time and Time Again. And it's basically someone that goes back in time and tries to change the world, history. And I like that in the back they say he returns 1st of June 1914, and he's basically literally the loneliest man on earth, because no one he has ever known or loved has been born yet. Perhaps now they never will be. So I like those like what if someone did something that changed the whole history. So it was a great book on that topic, but it hasn't been translated in English, at least that I know of until now. And it's about Hitler, if he had been accepted into l'École des Beaux-Arts and he had become an artist. So it was like one chapter was, you know, his actual life, and then what could have been. It's called La part de l'autre. But yeah, I don't think it has been translated in English. I don't read a lot of comics or books with like pictures, however you want to call them. And I saw this one, I was like, you know what? That's an interesting topic. I like aliens. Let me read this. It's called Everyone's an Alien. Are you supposed to pronounce it just alien? I'm gonna do that. When you're an alien too. It's basically a picture book about an alien that feels very at home on Earth. And I really enjoyed The Humans by Matt Haig, which was about an alien being stuck on Earth for, you know, a special mission. And now I'm intrigued about reading more books like that. If you have any recommendations, please feel free to do that. But yeah, that cover, that topic just appealed to me, and it's something that is like a very, very different format for me. So I wanted to try and get out of my comfort zone. So I picked that one up. Maybe I'll pick it up again in a reading vlog or something. I feel like I haven't read a lot of fantasy books, like new release, thick, new fantasy books in a while, and I saw this one after seeing it. I feel like a few different places, like Amazon, their list of like new coming bestseller, blah, 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 and I saw it on Goodreads a few times, so I decided it's happening. This is The Rune of Kings, and I believe you're following a main character whose destiny is not to save the kingdom, but actually destroy it, which I thought that was an interesting twist. So I will be picking it up. Let me know if you actually have read it, because this one was a like, oh, I feel like I've seen it, it's on sale, let me buy it type of purchase. But the reviews are really positive on Goodreads, so I feel pretty safe. Two more books that are going to be in my Goodreads reading challenge of 2020. If you haven't seen it, I just posted a video talking about the winners for each categories and then choosing the ones I was going to try and read to do my own award show at the end of 2020. And these two were part of that. So the first one is this one, which is A Memory Called Empire, which I thought when I had seen it at first that this was a fantasy book, but turns out it was in the sci-fi category. A lot of people actually were recommending it to me before I saw it being in that category kind of high as one of the like contestant. Like it wasn't the winner, but it was pretty high. And since it had been recommended so many times, I decided, you know what? I'm seeing it right now on BookOutlet. The waiting list is pretty long at my library, so I'm just gonna get it and go through it. I'm really excited to do so because it has really, really great reviews, especially by people that I do trust. So that's always a good way of choosing a book. Whenever other people that have similar tastes like it, you're like, oh, I feel pretty safe. I think I'm gonna like it too. So I will get to that in 2020, no choice. All I know is that it is a space opera, which that's fine by me. The next one was part of the YA fantasy section, and it wasn't the winner, but I had to place the order before the winners were announced, right? They were announced on the 10th, so Cyber Monday was definitely passed. But this one is a retelling, which I've had such complicated feelings, and I never know if I'm gonna enjoy retellings, but I keep trying, so here we are. This is A Curse So Dark and Lonely, which is a retelling of The Beauty and the Beast, which was one of my favorite Disney movies as a kid, which I still need to rewatch on Disney Plus, which I need to do that. Probably will, because I was such a Belle in my heart. Like, I obviously loved reading, and I literally had a blue book, and I would walk around with my blue book pretending I was Belle. Anyway, so I am hopeful I will be enjoying this one. I'm aware there's probably going to be some romance, and I know I'm always saying that I hate romance, but it's because I find that very often it's not done well. But I have figured out in my time on BookTube that I don't hate the hate to love trope, so maybe. This was so many books. I think it was an order of like $50, and I got all of these books, which is pretty crazy. So again, I will link my page down below if you want to see the books, all of the ones I've ever gotten from BookOutlet. I also picked up a few books at used bookstores. Essentially, I went with a friend, and then, you know, I got one thing I really wanted, and then we needed 2 more books to get the buy X amount and get, you know, 1 or 2 free. So I cracked and got some other stuff. Don't we all do this? The first one is Touch of Power by Marianna V. Snyder, which she's the same author as Poison City, which is a YA fantasy book also that I've been meaning to read for ever, but you know, here we are picking up something else by her, maybe to put myself more pressure. But this one has magical power once again, and I believe again, yeah, it is power to heal. It just seemed like a fast, easy read with magical power, which is, you know, something that I am very often in the mood to read, so I got this one. I also picked up Dumpling, which I know it became a movie, which I've been wanting to watch, so I decided, you know, read the book before you watch the movie. It is a YA contemporary about a character who calls herself fat, but she's also very confident in herself and doesn't let it affect her, which I thought was fun. I realized that so many of the books that I read, especially YA, tend to just follow the classic, very pretty, super powerful female character, and or they're very, very bland yet so hot everyone wants them. So I thought that would be a nice change. If you have any recommendations, please feel free to leave them in the comment section. So yeah, I picked that one up too. And then the one I was really excited about, but I mean really excited about, is like humongous and very heavy. I got these 2 short story collections by Ursula K. Le Guin, which I have been meaning to read so much more by her because she's a very well-known sci-fi writer, and I feel like not a lot of sci-fi, like the classic ones, especially from these editions, are written by women. And since I did enjoy some of the stuff that I've read by her so far, a lot of people were mentioning that her short stories are really, really great. So I was super excited when I found that they had these 2 in this gorgeous edition. So there is The Found and the Lost, and The Real and the Unreal. And honestly, these covers are unreal, so they're really, really gorgeous. I will be trying to get to these. I don't know if I should try to like make myself read like 1 a week or something just to try and get through them, because I don't know if her writing is going to be the same in this one than the 2 of the books that I've read by her, but her books definitely make me practice my English, like aka struggle a lot. So maybe if I just give myself a little goal like that, I could actually go through 1 or 2 of these this year. Now let's go through the books you guys sent me. You can look forward to receiving something in the mail, by the way. The first one is from Shannon, which thank you so much. The Cheerios will be eaten very soon. Probably already started. Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. This is the gorgeous illustrated version that they do once a year-ish. Last year they didn't come out with this one. They decided to push it back 1 year because they wanted to make sure they would have time to do all the gorgeous illustration, and I have been like trying to wait until I have all of them before reading them, but like I just know I'm going to crack sooner rather than later. And you can see it has amazing pictures. I'm not going to show too many because I know some people just don't want to have the surprise ruined, but I just cannot wait to re-experience the whole story with the pictures. I feel like it changes everything, especially if you have kids. I'm assuming it would be like even better because you can actually look at the pictures as you're reading the book. But yes, I'm a child and I totally want to hoard all of these, so I obviously own all the other 3, and this one will go and join them. Next, I wanted to say a huge thank you to Liliana, who gave me The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, which is a book I rave about so much and I adored, but I didn't own a physical copy of it, and I'm so happy that I'm going to be able to put this on my bookshelves. If you haven't read this book, you need to. It's one of my favorite kind of chick lit, historical fiction kind of book, and I am still waiting for a movie to be made because this would make an amazing movie. And if you're still looking to buy someone, your mom, for example, a Christmas book, Christmas gift, I would definitely recommend this one, and you're also going to want to read it because this blew my mind. I adored it. I went into it so blind too, and I just fell in love with it so hard. So thank you so much. Very happy. It also gave me this one, which is Where the Red Fern Grows, which I have so been warned that I was going to cry while reading this book. It is a middle grade, I guess you would call, book. And I didn't grow up reading this one, but I remember hearing a lot of people saying that it broke their heart. I believe, yeah, there are dogs, and I have been warned. Whenever there's a dog in a book, right, they always freaking die, and I hate it. But yes, all the feels will happen, and I'm planning on doing actually something with this. You're gonna see it soon, very soon. Huge thank you to Uska, which I will not pronounce this properly because obviously, right? But Night House by Leigh Bardugo. This has been voted the winner for the fantasy, why fantasy? In the Goodreads Choice Awards, so a lot of people really enjoyed this. Obviously, Bardugo. I did have some complaints whenever I was talking about that category because more people voted for it than people that actually rated it on Goodreads, but that's a different story. So thank you so much. Karina, I finally got the toll, which we've had some issues with the shipping, but Neil Schusterman came out finally with the last book in this trilogy. It is a YA sci-fi dystopian, utopian world, and I have been really enjoying the series so far, and this is the last book, and you can see this baby is thick. It has over 600 pages, but since it's a YA book, I feel like I'm a little less scared of it that way, even though it's pretty big. But I will be reading this in January for sure because the last book ended on a ridiculous cliffhanger, and I've been dying to see how it ends, so definitely happening ASAP. So this was my December book haul. Please let me know in the comment section what books you bought in December, anything on your wish list for Christmas. Are you still looking for recommendations? I hope you are, because I am posting next week all of my best, worst, most disappointing, most surprising book, basically all my end of the year series, and I have been dying to share these with you. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thumbs up, subscribe, more videos on the screen that I recommend you check out, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.